All the stuff that you just went and got.
I didn't get no all the stuff.
Yeah, you bought.
Messaged Patsy about what crap it was. Told her I ain't giving her but $5.
When?
Just now. And it's already gone. It only rolled one joint because half of it was all seeds and sticks. And so I told her about it.
So you already smoked it all?
It rolled one joint. It was all seeds and sticks. The bud she gave me was all seeds and sticks.
Right, but why wouldn't you make it last?
It wasn't too light. It was messed up. The thing that she gave me was messed up. You can't tell. Seeds are inside of the flower. It's a flower. All you do is put it on a scale. If it weighs, it weighs. The reason it weighed was because of all of the seeds and the sticks. It didn't weigh because of the flower. That's why there wasn't any there. Usually I can roll 3 joints.
You are now entering a safe area.
Come take a look.
Word is the LMB's not gonna try to take the outpost back. Good luck out there. Oh, man.
You already said that.
Best gear for the streets, right here.
Alright, so do we get to do something? Like flashlight or something?
I have to do this first.
Good luck out there. Oh, man. Thanks for bringing Rhodes back, I think.
Best gear in the city. Check it out.
She said, does anyone want 2 toddlers?
Good luck out there.
And look.
Who got that?
My friend went to school with Flip.
Freezing my butt off.
2 little boys.
Freezing my butt off.
Don't be shy.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
You're an inspiration to us all.
Yeah.
Do not, I repeat, do not feed the stray dogs
Best
near the
gear for the
perimeter.
streets, right
They are
here.
wild animals, and interacting with them is not safe.
You are listening to Rick Falassi, and wouldn't you know it, the best, if not only, paranoid pirate radio podcast in the tri-state area. So, you got that going for you, which is nice. So, folks have been asking me about the federal government, what the state of things is, etc. Basically wanted me to reassure them somebody is still in charge. But I can't. I mean, are there provisions for continuity of government in a crisis? Sure. Realms of classified documentation? Yes. Top secret mountain fortresses, impregnable to any attack, whether conventional, nuclear, biological? You bet. The question West Side Piers is where it's at these days. The DCD, the JTF, all the alphabet soup is over there trying to get things up and running. Good luck to them, says I. Cause that part of town's total bughouse nuts. Hello, New York. It's your favorite pirate radio broadcast / podcast / maniac with a loudspeaker standing on his rooftop yelling at the
Did you
pigeons.
hear what I said?
Rick Velasquez. And this is Wouldn't You Know It. I
Said,
don't know what you know, but I know what I know ain't much. What I hear, though, that's a different
you
matter.
mad at me? You mad at
What I'm
me?
hearing is that people
You
been
mad at
seeing
yourself
some
for
weird
something.
crap over on the west side.
That gets to be a problem.
What kind of weird crap, you ask?
He accepts his daughter's feelings and explains why they
I'm talking guys in hazmat suits walking the streets with Rikers
So
inmates.
now that's your boundary.
LMB guys patrolling with SAFE. Now, last time I checked, these guys would shoot or flame boil each other on sight. If they're getting along, either lions are about to start laying down with lambs without putting lamb chop on the menu, or things are about to get seriously weird around here.
Yeah, let's
You know where I'm putting my money.
Drugs are just for sex. Salaries go on. Yes, Police assistance.
Why do I do that?
The worker told dispatch that a convicted felon of Resisitance had done. 3 children and one was suspected of
Would you tell some people something?
Hey, gotta see it to believe it.
And he told the officers that he did not sell drugs, that he just trades them for sex with other women.
What?
Really? Because he had it in there all in cash, so. People are so sick. It was gross with his face and falling apart.
Alright.
Why are you trying to?
Your attention, please. Please do not engage in snowball fights near checkpoints as they may distract the guards. All such activities are restricted to the designated play areas near the post office building. Thank you for your cooperation.
Readings indicate this area is safe.
Hey, New York. It's Rick Velassi again with Wouldn't You Know It. Because it's not like I got anything better to do than talk at you. You know what I'm saying? I like to think I provide the public service, educating the masses, or maybe just keeping a few of you entertained while you wait for whatever the hell fate's gonna throw at you next.
Your attention, please. Extra blankets will be available for distribution at 1500 hours. One blanket will be issued per
If
person.
not, you should have. Because he's part of the reason we're in such deep shit. A big part. You remember I told you about
Don't be
the first
shy.
wave, yeah? He was part of it. Government-trained killer and deep cover agent turned loose on the city because, hey, it seemed like a great idea at the time. Word on the street is that he's still on the loose. Been spotted by a reputable observer.
No back.
Warning. Now we're exiting the safe area.
To get the signal.
Buddy, you're not gonna. That was easy. Here we go. Here we go. Take no disrespect. More incoming. say your prayers.
I've seen him. I've seen someone I'm pretty sure is the lassie on the street in Morningside Heights. That must mean he lives somewhere close. I'm surprised he even comes out of his lair at all. He must think he's special somehow. Or that he has protection. Yes, I'll bet that's it. If that is the lassie, it could be a government plant to distract me. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We deserve the truth about Rick Velassi and whoever he's fronting for. I will follow him. I will keep an eye on him. I will find him. And then I will find out the secrets he's hiding. I promise you, we will know the truth.
Please, please don't hurt me.
Search the area.
Down over there!
Don't think you're gonna get this one.
Wait. Good.
What are y'all scared of over there? I can do this all day! Jesus Christ! There! Just you? That's as far as you go!
They're having.
Give me a break.
Which ones did you get?
None of them.
What?
Because I ain't paying this.
Why don't you just order some? Yeah, just order some.
Oh yeah, I will.
Wow.
Hello again, New York.
Hey there!
Time with
Come on over!
You know it. Premier conspiracy podcast and pirate radio station broadcasting out of Midtown Manhattan. You don't like it?
Brian.
so, man. I'm ready.
Let's get this over with.
Keep up the pressure! I'm gonna get you!
Here we go! Focus your fire! Damn it, I'm out!
Down.
Just like Trader.
God damn it!
Let's get this done. Hey, no weakness.
Like in my pop.
Well,
I'm just trying. And most people won't know the law.
Now's our chance. Shoot! Hey, you wanna dance? You don't belong here.
Charge it! No letting up! Maintain pressure!
Now entering a safe area. Another agent has joined your team.
Here's Casey's wife come out and Billy. Why? It's probably $1,000 for that one beanie. It's not even pretty at all. It looks like a generic beanie that I could make. Oh, I'm sorry. It's $28 only. You want one?
Got some bad news. Riker's down in the underground intercepted a JTF runner carrying sensitive intel. We need the intel and that runner back, which means you just got elected to do the getting.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
Why didn't you order those pants?
That says that on it, though. You want that beanie?
Alert. Hostiles detected.
Stop asking me stupid questions. We do not have money in the bank for you to order those pants. Yeah. You want to have not very much money left over.
Objective data has been completed. Warning. Hostiles detected nearby. Warning. Agent on your team is down. Requires assistance. Warning. An agent on your team requires aid immediately. Warning. Hostiles have been detected.
One guy did that in my door. Wow. I find our body.
Your objective has been updated.
Look, babe, watch.
Alert. Detecting hostiles.
Oh my god.
down. Requires assistance. Warning, hostiles have been detected.
Sick 'em. Place them all!
Warning, hostiles detected nearby.
Those bastards!
Objective updated. Warning, hostiles have been detected.
want milk and I don't want bread. I have to survive. I don't want to have to eat bread or milk.
Warning. An agent on your team is down. Immediately.
Division, right here!
Means a lot. Shooting first into...
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Like that.
Thanks for going down there and getting that intel, Agent. It's gonna be a big help.
Now that was some shooting.
What? Don't tell me to shut up.
You don't know.
Don't tell me to shut up. Now I'm ready for bed. And then tomorrow, you are going to expect me to watch this until you go to work, right? Right? Wrong.
Shut.
No. I'm not watching your game all day tomorrow. I'm not watching your game all day tomorrow. I'm not watching your game all day tomorrow. Why do you keep telling me to shut up? Don't. No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you just making noises now? Because you want to talk about it? It's time for you to take a shower.
Alert. An agent is now leaving your
You're
team.
not getting our sheets smell on from the way you smell.
Are you going to get work up with tonight? What the rock is cooking.
Why are you silent?
I hate it when you record. When I'm not even doing anything wrong. And you try to make me like I'm saying.
Do that all by yourself at home.
Really, I'm a good person. It's not. You're abusing me and taking advantage of it. Yep. That's what I see. Yeah. Okay, well now get things off of my head. It's weird. Making me feel uncomfortable. I don't like this feeling. I mean that. Help! Doing anything off. Giving me an anxiety attack. What's so funny?
Well, I wasn't videoing at first.
But you're evil. You decided that you're an evil human. Alright. me alone! I don't want this washed. The coloring quality is horrible. And the director is not doing a good job at all. Look at those wrinkles. I want to go through this one. No. Tell you. Oh. No. Rest assured. Babe, get back to your other attitude where you're normal. Oh.
What are you saying God about? Figure it out then.
No. Who's messaging me? Huh?
Nate.
Why? Message me? About what?
Take your spike that you let out. What? What?
There's a weird.
Hey, you! You just got a bargain.
Ever do that to me again, right? It's almost too close.
You're getting on my nerves. I really? No, I can't watch the show now. Because I'll just fall asleep. Time for bed. Let's go. You have to shower. Yes. No. Why would you do that to our sheets? But you're going to get our sheets smelly. How is it going to be alright? And I won't get a cuddle. Yeah, and then I'll have to shower again tomorrow at some point.
You are now entering a safe area.
Smell. No, I don't. No, my farts might, but I don't. I do not have a bad attitude. Telling you to shower is having a bad attitude? Telling you to shower is having a bad attitude? I'm not screaming. I'm not screaming. I am not screaming. So why are you saying that I am? You learn to be nice. And learn to stop telling me that I'm not being nice when I'm not doing anything. That automatically is going to make anyone not be nice. If you're telling them that they're not being nice when they actually are being nice, that's stupid. And you told me to stop yelling, and I wasn't even yelling. Yeah, so shut up. Again, once you go into the kitchen, you start running your mouth like you did last night. You did this is the same exact thing you did last night. Yep. You are done.
Why are you so pretty? What weird messages did you send? Priscilla sent a picture. Oh, yeah. I never wanted that sent. What? Just because I don't shave and I'm ugly, don't mean you don't get to love me still. Yeah. Sometimes you don't look.
Shut up, Jonathan. Sometimes I what?
Sometimes you don't look supermodel-y either.
I never look supermodel-y.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yelled up.
I'm pretty sure not stinking is not being a supermodel.
She's quit picking on me.
What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and today we have the Eater of Worlds Raid Layer Guide for Dummies, showcasing every single mechanic for every single encounter so that you can watch this video and be completely prepared to enter this new raid activity. Now obviously guys, doing this brand new raid layer and then putting everything together in a guide takes a lot of work, so please, if you do find this video helpful, take the time to support it by simply liking and especially sharing, even if it's just telling a friend. And so, let's get started. Now the first thing you're going to encounter in this brand new raid layer is a jumping puzzle, but it's a little bit more complicated than your normal jumping puzzle. You're going to need your entire team to collaborate to get through this kind of encounter. It's a jumping puzzle slash first encounter. So, how do you beat this? Well, you're going to notice that once you get close to the edge, a platform is going to spawn out of the water. You can jump on this platform and nothing will happen. But if 2 or more people jump on the same platform, it will glow red and sink into the water, killing you and whoever else was on it. These platforms can only support one person. That is the key to this encounter slash jumping puzzle. If more than one person are on the same platform, it will glow red and it will sink into the water. So what you need to do is that one person out of your 6-man fire team will jump on the first platform. From there, another platform is going to spawn out of the water. That person on the platform already will then jump to that new platform that has just spawned, and then someone else from your fire team just waiting on the shore is going to jump on the original platform. So one platform always has one person on it. The person in the very front is going to keep jumping to the new platforms that keep spawning, and then everyone behind him is going to like move up one when that front person jumps. Think of it essentially as a caterpillar slowly crawling along the ground. The best way to do this is to simply communicate. Talk to your team and go 3, 2, 1, jump, everyone moves forward 1, 3, 2, 1, jump, everyone moves forward again, and you're going to want to do it semi-regularly, in fact I would say quickly, because there is one more mechanic you have to watch out for. Well, 2 more. The first one is that they will glow red and sink into the water regardless of who's on it after a period of time. So if you're standing on these platforms for too long, the people in the very back on the platforms that have stayed up the longest, those platforms will start to sink and they can end up dying. So you do want to move forward with some regularity. The second thing you need to watch out for is that there is actual enemies in this encounter. Scion snipers are up in the higher pipes throughout the map and they will shoot at you, so maybe bring something like a scout rifle letting you shoot back efficiently. Now make your way through these platforms and eventually you will find a solid platform that you can jump on. Think of these as checkpoints, because once someone from your fire team lands on them, you will see the text "Reactor temperature rises" in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This means that even if everyone dies at that point, as long as one person is at that solid ground, the checkpoint area, it's going to spawn all of the platforms at once so that anyone is dead can simply make their way across to that next area. Now from the start to the first checkpoint, that's rather simple, you just follow the leader, but from the second to the third checkpoint, essentially you're going to have to split up into teams of 2, with 3 people going on the right side and 3 people going on the left side, again just hopping one after another until they reach the second checkpoint, and then after that, the second checkpoint is a little complicated. You move forward as usual, and then another one spawns near the back. So the 6th person and the 5th person, like the people in the back, are gonna have to peel off and go leftwards, whereas the front 2 people can wait for a bit, but eventually they will get platform spawning for them too. So essentially you go forward and then you start reversing backwards, except for the front few people essentially. Moving on from there, the 3rd checkpoint to the final portion of this encounter. It's relatively simple except for one part where you're actually going to have to kind of go back and forth, because one's going to spawn a far ways away, you make a big jump, and then one spawns in the middle, and it can be a little confusing, but just follow the leader. Like the first person has a very obvious route to take. He simply jumps to the new one that spawns, and then the second person does exactly what the first person did. The third person does exactly what the second person did. Just look at the guy in front of you, unless of course you're the first person, and you should be fine for this part. Now eventually, once you do reach the end, there's a little bit of a gunfight. A bunch of Cabal are going to spawn in dropships and simply kill them all. Once you do, you're actually going to get a reward loot chest that's going to spawn and give you some goodies. Alright, now from here, you're simply going to make your way throughout the ship until you encounter this electrified area that we saw in the trailer. This area is not really a jumping puzzle, more like a running puzzle. Essentially, there's going to be a load up and then a bang, an electrical flash that's going to kill anyone out in the open. So what you have to do is exactly what you see in the background gameplay. Simply go to these protected corners to wait out the bangs of electricity. As long as you're in that corner, you won't be killed, so it'll, do the white mechanic. Anyone outside will die, but if you're in the corner, you're fine, and then once it does that, you move forward to the next corner, wait for the bang, to the next corner, to the next corner, until you do finish this little running puzzle. Now from there, things get a lot more interesting. You're going to be shot out by some sort of cannon or something into the massive void of the ship, where you're going to see a bunch of debris just skewn across this area. Now this debris you can actually jump on and engage with, and that's what you're going to have to do. You jump from piece of debris to the next one, to the next one, and make your way to the center portion of this, large piece of debris in the very middle of this area. That's where you're going to have the next encounter and then subsequent boss fight. But there isn't necessarily a set route for transversing these rocks. You can kind of scurry over them in a number of ways to eventually end up in the same place. However, when you are initially falling, try to aim for these circular Vex portals. Alright, now from here, we have the first real encounter. You're going to have a large area with a massive object in front of you, the glowing object. This is what you have to essentially blow up. There's going to be somewhat of a triangle arrangement of this arena with 3 separate sides. Each side is going to have a certain elemental oven, essentially, and that will actually make sense in a bit, but this elemental area is going to not only be shaped like a triangle, it's going to have a certain pillar of elemental flame upon each of the different corners. So what you're going to have to do is to split your 6-man team into teams of 2. 2 people on the Void side, 2 people on the Solar side, and 2 people on the Arc side. Now from here, you're going to go around the map and scavenge the Vex craniums seen here. You're then going to take these Vex craniums and go and charge them or cook them in your elemental oven, essentially. So again, you go out throughout the map, you take these Vex craniums. By the way, once you take one, more will spawn usually nearby the one you've just taken. So you take your Vex cranium, you go over to your respective side. If you're on the Arc team, you're going to go to the Arc side, and you put it inside one of these fires. So this means that you can charge up to 3 Vex craniums at one elemental plate. There's going to be 6 Vex craniums overall. So you can have 3 all on Arc, but that would mean that you can't have 3 on Solar as well, while also having a Void. So you want to diversify your craniums throughout the different elements. So what happens next? Well, the craniums are going to cook in the aforementioned oven essentially and come out as charged cannons of their respective element. So you have Arc cannons, Solar cannons, and Void cannons that again are from craniums going into those fires and sitting there for a bit. It doesn't seem like you have to stand near them for them to activate. You can be across the map and they will still cook and then come out as cannons. Now, once they are in their cannon form, you can pick them up again, and they do substantial damage. If there's a couple of Minotaurs in front of you, you can melt them extremely fast. And sometimes, if you're gonna die, that is the right thing to do. But what you really want to use them for is taking down the different walls of this massive glowing object in the middle of this arena. So, one wall, picked kind of at random, is going to spawn elemental crystals within its holes. You have to kill these elemental crystals with their respective elemental cannons. So, quick recap. You're going to spawn in, you're going to start splitting your team up, grabbing craniums, and charging them. You probably want about 2 charged for each different element, depending on what actually spawns. At least 1 charged in each different element for sure. But you may want to hold on to some craniums because eventually one of the walls, one of the sides, the holes are going to spawn those elemental crystals, so you're going to have to look for that. Whoever's side it's on, let's say it's on the solar side, aka near the solar triangle, that team is going to call out what the elements of the crystals are, so they may say there's 2 void and 1 arc. And this would mean you have to show up with the respective cannons to take down those elemental crystals. So again, if it's 2 void and 1 arc, you definitely need 1 guy from arc with an arc cannon to come and kill his arc crystal. And you will need 2 void cannons to take out the 2 void crystals. A cannon can kill a crystal and still have some ammo left in reserves, but it's not enough to kill 2 crystals. So anytime you see 2 of the same element, make sure that you put an emphasis on charging the craniums, at least 2 of them, on that proper elemental side so you can take down both of the crystals. And that is really how you do the mechanics of this encounter. You're going to take down all of the crystals on one wall, essentially. That wall is going to explode and come down, exposing the boss you're going to have to fight later underneath. Then you go to the next wall, to the next wall, to the next wall, and you keep doing that same thing. Getting the proper elemental cannons, and then shooting down the respective elemental crystals. Now, while you are doing this, there is a lot of adds that spawn. So, it may be a good idea to split your team up into one person being the charger / crystal shooter, and the other person killing as many enemies as possible. With that being said, don't stick to your positions no matter what. You need to be a little bit flexible, and you'll see in the background gameplay, even though I'm on the Arc team, sometimes I will go and grab a cranium and give it to Solar or give it to Void wherever it's needed. But again, having one person moving around the map, being very mobile, charging the craniums, shooting the cannons, and then one person just dealing with adds is going to be quite effective. But because of the sheer volume of adds, it may be a good idea to use a super, like a Stormcaller Warlock, as I was, or even something like a Dawnblade or a Striker Titan. Those are going to be very effective at taking down the multitude of adds. But as long as you keep on top of those adds and aggressively seek out the craniums and charge them in the right elements, and then just communicate with your team. Communication is key to call out what crystals there are, so you know which elements to charge the craniums in. As long as you're doing that, you should be able to overcome this encounter. Once you do destroy each piece of the wall, eventually a loot chest will spawn and you've completed this encounter. And then, right after that, we have another encounter in this same arena. This time, you're taking down the big bad boss that you've just unearthed, essentially. Now again, the base mechanics of getting the craniums and charging them into cannons in the respective elements is going to remain unchanged. So stay in your teams of 2. But at this point, instead of destroying crystals, you're going to destroy weird glowing orbs. So what's going to happen is that after the boss looks around and shoots at people for a bit, it's going to spawn those glowing orbs. At one of the sides, so potentially it's the Arc side, potentially it's the Solar side, potentially it's the Void side, one of those sides you will see all 3 of these orbs. So let's say it's the Arc side. You'll see maybe a Void orb off to the right, you'll see a Solar orb off to the left, and then you'll see an Arc orb on top. There's always one on top as well. So what you're going to need to do is, firstly, spend some time charging the cannons. These cannons you're also going to use on the boss himself because they do substantial damage. So you're going to figure out where the section of shield is that you're going to take down. And again, it's simply the area that all three are going to converge on in a certain hole. And there's also going to be a ton of harpies spawning there as well. And then you're going to look at the elements of the glowing orbs. These elements are not always one arc, one solar, and one void. Sometimes they're two void and one arc. Sometimes they're all three solar, right? It's kind of random. So you're going to have to shout out where it is, like where the convergence is, and then you're going to have to shout out the different elements. So if it's one of each, great. You're going to charge at least one cranium in each different element, of course, to take them down. And then also, very importantly, you want to load up on craniums of the element that is where the shield is going to go down. And that's because you want to be able to grab these cannons and use them right away on the boss and then go to shooting rockets or what have you. Now again, this sounds very complicated because it is very complicated, frankly, but as we go on, as we explain more, as you see it in gameplay, it should become kind of obvious what you're supposed to do. So, once you have figured out the side and gotten all of the cannons charged with the respective elements, you're all going to converge. You're going to shoot the different orbs. Now, as you shoot them, they're going to move. So simply, shoot them with the beam and track to the right or to the left or downwards and move your orb into that hole in the very middle of that enemy's shield. Once all three elemental charges go into that hole, it's going to trigger the next mechanic. The shield is going to go down. You are going to get a buff as a team, which makes you do a lot more damage than normal, and then you're going to have the opportunity to damage the boss. Now again, the elemental cannons do a phenomenal amount of damage, so make sure you're charging all 6. 3 on the elemental side that, the shield is going down, and then if you have to charge 2 over at solar, make sure someone from solar brings the other one, even if he's just standing around and using it for DPS. Once they're out, again, just use your normal weapons. Now at this point, I would love to say it's just DPS the boss as normal, but it's far from normal. Firstly, there's going to be still a crap ton of just normal ads around you. You may want to dedicate one person with an area of effect super, like a Stormcaller, to use that and deal with the ads so your teammates don't die. Also, you may want to even be running one healing rift so you can tank some shots from the harpies that are inevitably going to be beside you. In addition to the ads, one more thing you absolutely need to watch out for, and that is that he shoots a prism beam at you. Yes, the prism is a real thing, and it's something that the boss is going to charge up. You're going to see it very obviously on screen. He's going to shoot some sort of weird electrical triangle at your team, and anyone in that pathway will get hit and will start to float away into space. Literally, you'll see in the background gameplay. When this happens, your team needs to communicate. Someone needs to say, hey, I've been hit. I'm in the prison. And then the rest of the team has to then turn and shoot your prison. You can't do anything from the inside, you can't even shoot, but everyone from the outside can shoot and you're screwed. It's gonna hit a lot of you and 4 of your guys could float away and the other 2 are just desperately trying to shoot all of those different prisms. So that's not something you want to do. It's kind of a hard balance in between doing things like popping a rally barricade and just going absolutely ham with rocket launchers while still being spaced apart enough and mobile enough to dodge those oncoming attacks. So the absolute maximum damage approach is going to be to do DPS to the boss, wait until the first prism is shot, and then group together, pop a rally barricade, pop an empowering rift, get that huge damage output, go absolutely ham for those few seconds until you see his gun charging, then spread apart again so you don't all get hit by that attack. However, a more cautious approach, a safer approach, would simply be to stay a little bit spread apart regardless. Okay, so we're almost done for the mechanics in this encounter, I promise. After you do a DPS phase, so after your whole team shoots the boss for quite a while, doing hopefully quite a bit of damage, he's going to ball up again. The shield is going to spawn back in, and he's going to be immune from pretty much every attack. At this point, there's not much you can do. You can gain craniums and charge them, and they will be charged for the next time you need them, so that can be quite useful. But, very importantly, he's going to go into a wipe mechanic. So after you do a damage phase to him, you're going to just have to wait a little bit, and then he's going to lower all of his shields, and he's going to start charging void energy, and you will see that text pop up in the left-hand corner of your screen when he is doing that. So the shield's going to go down, and a bunch of rings are going to go around him, or I should say like semi-rings. You're going to jump on these rings and align yourself to shoot 2 of his crits. Once you kill 2 of his crits, he is going to stop the wipe mechanic. If you don't kill 2 of his crits, he's going to wipe your entire team, everyone will die, you're going to have to start again. So, what my team like to do is the first time, take down the 2 crits, which are the white glowing portions on his arms. And you'll see that in the background gameplay. Now, the important part here is not actually damage. You can do as much damage as you want, but it almost doesn't matter. It's actually consistent damage, and only damage to the crit itself. So if you're getting white numbers, you're doing it wrong. You have to damage the crit. You have to be getting those yellow precision hit numbers. So something like hammers actually isn't good here, because those are going to be hitting around the crit more than actually hitting that crit. Something that is amazing for this part is the Cold Heart Exotic Trace Rifle. It's got 101 rounds, it ramps up in damage as you continue to shoot the same target, and a couple people with trace rifles can easily take down that crit. Remember, it's continuous damage. You don't want something that does a lot of damage right away like a sniper. You want something like an auto rifle, like a Cold Heart, to just continuously damage, continuously getting those crits, and then you will see it pop and go down. Just because it's red doesn't mean it's done. It has to actually kind of explode and go completely black. Now, my team found that the best way was to team up on one side, like everyone kind of on the right side. You can take that down very fast. Everyone move over to the left side. You take that left arm down. Then he's going to recoil backwards, and you have, successfully survived, essentially, from the wipe mechanic. Now, again, he has 3 sets of 2 crits. That means that you can cancel a wipe mechanic 3 times, aka you get 4 damage phases with this boss. So, after all of that, you're going to go back to charging the craniums, grabbing the cannons, shooting all 3 of the orbs at the same time, taking down his shield, using any extra cannons to damage him. By the way, shooting the head seems to still do a little bit more damage, even though everywhere is the crit. So shoot those cannons at his face, shoot rockets. Rockets with cluster bomb is still fantastic for this, and your Cold Heart certainly isn't bad either. After you've done a significant amount of damage, hopefully, he's going to turtle up again, you wait a bit, and then he's going to do another wipe mechanic. Now from the arms, you're then going to want to move somewhere else. My team like to do on top of his head, so you're going to have to take a little bit of time to get up those different rings around him, get to near the very top, and you can hit those very top crits. There's again 2, one on the right, one on the left, and then once you take those down, he's going to recoil, and again, you've cancelled another death mechanic. Now, the reason I like to do the crits second on the top of his head is that they're the hardest to hit, so you don't want to be worrying about that in the very last damage phase. You want to get those done, and then you end with an easy one, is at least how my group like to do it. So you go through a whole nother damage phase with cannons, shooting, DPS. He's going to turtle up again, and he's going to have his last wipe mechanic. The last 2 crits are on his back, as you can see here. There's again 2 of them, one on the right, one on the left. So focus with your team to kill one, blow it up, kill the other, blow it up. He's going to recoil. There you have it. That's it. You get one more chance to take down a portion of his shield and DPS him, but if you don't kill him here, you will likely wipe because there's no more crits to hit. So, whew, that is it for all of the mechanics within this encounter. Now for some tips. My number 1 tip is definitely communication. You need to be talking, you need to be communicating, make sure everyone has a mic, everyone has a good mic at that, because you need to know where the convergence is, so where your team has to bundle up and where you're going to DPS them, like on which side, and also you need to know which elements the different orbs are so you can charge the respective craniums. And also, another tip here, don't go wild with charging craniums. You don't want to just see a bunch of craniums, charge everything on void, and then it turns out you need 2 arcs and a solar. well, you've just wasted a bunch of craniums there at Void. So you don't want to do that. You do want to charge at least one on each side regardless, but then save some craniums, be a little bit open, wait for that communication, and then charge those afterwards where you know, like, firstly, where the spot is going to be, where you're going to have to converge, and then secondly, you know, what all the elements are, of course. I would also recommend to have somewhat of an even split of 3 and 3 between supers that do a lot of damage to a boss and then supers that do great damage against adds. You still want a few people on, you know, something like Stormcaller to kill those adds. They're still a very, very big problem, and if you ignore them, you're going to die. And in addition to that, you also want some stuff like, you know, Celestial Nighthawk Hunters and all of that stuff to still be able to do massive damage to the boss as well. So you want to kind of get an even split of those two things. And so, once you do all of these different things, once you master all of the mechanics, you will take down the boss. It's then going to suck you to your doom, except not really. You're going to be sucked up into the sky. Don't worry, you've done everything right, actually, at this point, and you're going to be teleported into the main Callus reward area. The same area you got the final rewards for completing the normal Leviathan raid, as you can see here. Go and collect your loot. And so guys, there you have it. How to complete the new Eater of Worlds raid layer from start to finish. Now again, this is just a video to go over the base mechanics. Anyone can watch this and they should have a great idea and a great chance to complete this raid layer. Now more stuff will be added on. Look for different annotations and cards that will link to other videos like hidden raid chests and so on. Again guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.
VR Developer Challenge is brought to you by Qualcomm Technologies.
I don't think I'm necessarily nervous, but I am excited. I actually am excited to see the other contestants work.
Right now, I think I'm too tired to be nervous. After I get a good night's sleep and then wake up in holy terror, and then I'll be nervous.
I would take it hard if he lost, actually. Like, I'm super protective, and I want him to win for my sake.
If I were to win the grand prize, some of that money would go towards a present for Nicole. I have some thought about what that might be.
What's up, YouTube? We're doing a thing with the raid, and oh my God.